it's reactive. It's actually faster than the CR-V. I can confirm that. It feels like you're driving a premium car. Hello everyone! So today I am going to be test driving the Honda Civic, the all-new Honda Civic. For the review of my Honda Civic, please look in the links in the description for the details. So where I talk about the exterior design, the interior design, and also about the equipment list, guys. Today is the day we test drive the Honda Civic. Hybrid system works this way. Whenever you brake, it recharges the battery automatically. Now, there's something very important I'm going to remark to you all. The engine that powers this bad boy is exactly the same that powers the Honda CR-V. Now, the sharing of engine has been a common practice in the automotive industry for quite a while, but I was told that the engine of this Honda Civic is very punchy. So as soon as you push the accelerator, you'd be like glued to the seat. That's what I was told. Now, today's the day we put it into practice. We see how much veracity there is behind those informations. So, first thing first, guys, I'm seated. So, already what I noticed is that the center cocoons you, but there's a lot of gap from the driver's seat and the door. It's almost like a food truck effect. So, food truck effect is a term I invented to say whenever there's too much space between the driver's seat and the door. That's not questionable, but it's just my taste. I prefer the door to be closer to me. My personal opinion, guys. But otherwise, it's not a big deal. But what's a big deal is now we're gonna test drive the Honda Civic. So, it's a start-stop system. Over here, you get buttons as transmission, guys. So, put it into drive, you can put it in neutral, you can put it in reverse, and you can put it in park. So it's a system I have to get used to, but this is not an unusual system. In fact, this is a system Hyundai also employs. So it's a very good system, guys. Very unique. Over here is the key of the Honda Civic, guys. Looks very similar to what I saw of the last generation. Basic, but very useful. And it's quite premium. I like the design as well. From what I see, you get 4 different modes of driving. You get the normal mode, you get the eco mode, and you get the sport mode. And you also get the individual mode, which is basically a mode which you can tailor to your convenience. Alright, so let's just start with normal mode, alright? So, put it on drive, and we roll. Okay, so, we're going to accelerate. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that was interesting. Okay, this is good, guys. So far, I'm very impressed with the steering wheel. The acceleration was like, for a nanosecond, there was a lag. And then the engine screams and then goes. But I can confirm it's faster than the CR-V. Now, we accelerate again. Okay, so one thing I've noticed that in normal mode, as soon as you floor it, there's a bit of a lag. There's always a lag of a nanosecond, and then the car actually gets moving. It's reactive. It's actually faster than the CR-V. I can confirm that. But the difference is that the CR-V is a colossal SUV. Well, not colossal, but you get the point, guys. Whereas the Honda Civic is a hatchback. It's a small car, so therefore acceleration is faster. But it suffers a similar questionable aspect like other Honda models I've reviewed before, and they always have a nanosecond of lag, and then suddenly there's movement. Now, that's because at least they're reliable, but they have not been the best for sporty acceleration. Now we're gonna try the sport mode, guys. One, two, three. Oh no. Okay, guys. In sport mode, I feel like the car performs very similar to the performance of the car is very similar to normal mode, but the only difference I've noticed is that the car screams even more in sport mode. What's the point if the performance is exactly the same? Like, why do you need to scream more? I just don't get it. Right, so now let's try in eco mode. Let's see. Although I'm not going to expect anything special in eco mode, but let's try it. 1, 2, 3. Okay. One thing I can confirm is that in eco mode, it is definitely more sluggish, but at least you do get... Well, one thing I have to confirm is that the drive feels very composed. It feels like you're driving a premium car. That's one thing I can confirm. I have to say road noise is very minimal, is very quiet. The only thing you will ever hear is the engine. The engine will scream and you will know it. It registers the bumps. Like, I have to say, in terms of suspension, the suspension feels very... It registers the bump, but I have to say it's more on the comfortable side. So far, driving this Honda Civic, very composed. Suspension setting is top-notch. I'm very impressed with everything. The only thing I would like to question, though, is just the acceleration is just like every other Honda I've driven. And already what I can confirm is that despite the sporty looks of this Honda Civic, it's not the car for sportiness. You know, the suspension setting is very acceptable. It's just the engine, guys. You can accelerate if you want to, but there's always going to be this lag, all right? Even if you're in sport mode or if you're in normal mode, whatever the mode, guys, there will always be this lag. Whether that lag is questionable or not, I don't see the reason to question the lag as long as it doesn't influence the reliability of Honda, which is unquestionable because it's reputed, guys. What would you go for? Performance or reliability? You know what, guys? I'd stick to reliability. So, now it's time we test the brakes of this Honda Civic. So, I'm going to get down to driving. So, let's drive at 30 kilometers per hour and let's do the brakes. Right, we're driving. And then we do the brakes. The brakes of this Honda Civic is very good. Let me try something again. Okay, the brakes of this Honda Civic is reactive. It's good. And it's rather smooth. Like, I've noticed the car doesn't like to do... At least it doesn't send you driving at the steering wheel like this. So let me see if I do a gentle brake, what happens. Okay, what I like about those brakes is that they're not, it's not like they're not sensitive like doing an emergency brake or something. There's some competitors where whenever you just tap the brakes lightly, they send you diving at the steering wheel. It's like doing an emergency brake just for tapping the brakes lightly. So, you know, with this Honda Civic, I'm impressed. Now, the brakes felt somewhat spongy, but that doesn't surprise me because part of it actually recharges the battery of the Honda Civic. So, yeah. Now we're gonna just do something different. Otherwise, one thing I have to point out is that I really love the maneuverability of this Honda Civic. The steering wheel is very light and pleasant to hold on to. Now we're gonna do something different. We're gonna drive 50 kilometers per hour and we're gonna hit the brakes and I'll tell you what I think. Guys, do you hear that? Okay, so what I just did was a smooth acceleration. An acceleration where I don't slam the pedal. I just tap it lightly and gradually. And that's how I increase speed. Now, already another thing I'd like to point out is that despite being very smooth with the accelerator, I keep hearing the engine noise. Oh well. It's not a big deal, guys, but just saying. See, no matter how gentle I am with the accelerator, the engine noise is always there. Now I'm going to test what it's like to do a U-turn of this Honda Civic. Alright, let's see what it's like, guys. I have an assumption that it's going to be like a bicycle, but let's see what it does. Alright, so let's see, and we turn all the way. Can it do it? Can it do it? Guys, okay, Very interesting observation I just made. For some reason, the steering radius is, I'd say, give or take average for a C-segment car, but am I the only one that feels like it was a bit big for what I was expecting. I was expecting it to feel like a bicycle, but I don't know, like maybe it's just me, but I feel like the steering radius was a bit bigger than I thought. It didn't feel like a bicycle that much. I mean, it's appropriate, but it's just rather too much for what I was expecting. But then again, you all be the judge. Otherwise, it was maneuverable, it was light, it was easy to go around. I mean, this car is easy to live with in town, don't get me wrong. But it's just for U-turns, it was a bit, I mean, I would say average. It's not superior, but it is average. I have to say that test driving this Honda Civic, it had something in common with other Honda models, but there were some prominent differences. Let's talk about what it has in common. The same thing it has is that the engine screams each time you accelerate, and before the acceleration even happens, there's always a second or perhaps half a second of lag. So meaning there's no motion at all, there's no movement. Like for one moment, the car is basically processing what you did, what you chose to do, and then suddenly there's movement. And then what accompanies the movement is the scream of the engine. But that's if you floor it, guys. So my recommendation is you drive safe. Just push the pedal gently. There's one thing that surprised me about this Honda Civic was the steering. Okay, the steering wheel was very, very fluid. I loved the feel of the steering wheel. It was very light. But the steering radius, guys. I did a U-turn, and I have to say, it surprised me a little bit. I was expecting it to be like a bicycle. I was expecting the steering radius to be small, but it just didn't really... Because I test drove the Honda HR-V, and it had a better steering radius than this Honda Civic. But the reason is that the Honda HR-V has a shorter wheelbase, whereas this Honda Civic has a longer wheelbase. The longer the wheelbase, the bigger the steering radius. The shorter the wheelbase, the shorter the steering radius. And I was surprised. That's all I can say. It is a bit questionable, especially for a C segment. But then I also said it was average because many C-segment cars of today's generation come with longer wheelbase, the likes of the Skoda Scala, for example. So therefore, yes, it depends, guys. You all be the judge. So you want my opinion of the way this Honda Civic drove? Oh, I love it! I love this Honda Civic. I really do, guys. When I reviewed the Honda Civic, I stated that it was the best value, one of the best value for money cars in the automotive industry, especially for its segment. And I have to say that test driving this Honda Civic, it's true I did unearth some questionable aspects which were very similar to other Honda models, but these questionable aspects were not that much of a big deal. These were acquired tastes, so eventually you will get used to certain things, guys. And besides, one thing I have to remark is that Honda cars, no matter how sporty they look, they are not the types that you should be playing around with, like, you know, going all speedy or something. You know, you should not floor it. In fact, you should never floor any car you drive. Let the car gradually accelerate. Never do an instant acceleration, because it's not good for the tires, and in long terms the tire will wear away faster, and that's not what you want. And this applies to any car you drive, not just the Honda Civic alone. But in the case of the Honda Civic, it drives very nicely, very smooth, and if you want me to be honest, it feels like you're driving a premium car. It feels like you're driving a luxurious car. It doesn't have the look, but it has the feel. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos that are on the run, everyone. And don't forget to check the links in the description for my car reviews, travel videos, and my creativity videos. And you'll find the links in the description to my review of the Honda Civic. And I have a question to ask you all. Are you all impressed with the all-new Honda Civic? Do you think it drives nice? Do you like the design? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you have any questionable aspects which you have unearthed personally, let me know right away, guys. Alright, take care, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!